Good morning, everybody. It is Saturday morning, a beautiful morning here in Edinburgh. I've just got back from a morning coffee with Nathan. So when Nathan and I go for our coffee on a Saturday, we usually like to go and have a look around, walk around town and maybe go into a charity shop or an antique shop, which is quite dangerous because we're not the type of friends who say to each other, "Oh, darling, do you really need that?" Instead, we'll say, "Oh, have it. That'd be perfect for here," or "You should definitely have it. If you don't get it, you're going to keep thinking about it." So it can be a little bit dangerous, and that is what happened today. So I'm going to show you some things that I got. We were walking past an antique store, and in the window was this gilt frame. This was £70. Actually, it was £75, and I got them down to 70. And I just thought it's quite hard to find really good frames these days, beautiful ones. So I thought that was a great bargain and I got it. So what I am thinking is, for some reason, I just don't love this where it is at the moment. I just find that it darkens the space. So I'm thinking I'm going to put this into the dining room. I'll show you. And I'm going to put that back where the cabinet is. So I'm going to swap them. And I just love that here, but I do think that it could work if that was here instead. Because it just kind of darkens the corner there. I've just got that feeling that it does that. So if I do, I'm going to pop that back to there, and then that frame will go above it. My friend Stephen he's just an amateur artist, but he doesn't do it by profession is what I mean. He's not in any way amateur, he's a really incredible artist. I was at his flat the other day and I said to him, "You need to paint me something," because he's very, very talented. So now I have the perfect canvas. He can make me a painting and I can pop it into there and it will go and sit on the wall. So that's the first thing. The next thing, we were walking past another antique store and Nathan spotted this. This is an original sketch. You can't really see the windows shining on it, but I thought this was so beautiful of this man. And this is an original sketch by Scottish artist Dennis O'Neill, and 1916 to 2001, the artist. I need to read up on him. I think it could be interesting. But I loved that. Not crazy about the frame, so I'm going to reframe it. I'm going to get Jonathan to do that, Jonathan Fremantle. But I loved him, and I just think, rather than going on the wall, I actually love it when paintings are resting on chairs or resting on a side table, and I really love that. So I got that, and then I bought some new plants because my lavender is totally over now. So I bought some rosemary. So I've got some rosemary in here. I need to plant these up, get some compost, and my lavender are going into the bin. But yeah, looking quite nice out here. Lovely blue sky. So a lovely morning of shopping, coffee and fun. So you can see that I have displayed my new tureen here in the dining room, and I think it looks great on this bookshelf. I really love it here. I love the white and the luster of it. It is such a beautiful piece. But I was thinking today that autumn is on the way now. Sadly, summer's coming to a close, and I would definitely like to use this as its purpose, not just as a decorative item. So I like to use my beautiful things, and I would really love to make some lovely dishes in this casserole. So I thought today I would make something a little bit autumnal, but not quite yet. Oh, my lamp seems to get on and off. And I thought that I would make a butterbean French soup. I'm having friends over tomorrow, so I thought that I would create a little recipe and we can serve it in the new white tureen. great conversation starter at the table about my trip to the Cotswolds with Nathan. Nathan's coming to the dinner so he can tell everybody about the trip as well. So that's what I like. I like to buy things where they have a story, a meaning, you can talk about them. If somebody asks, you say, oh, that was from here, or this was passed on from so-and-so. So yeah, I'm going to make a nice soup, a little bit of summer because I'm going to add some lemon into it, and I'll tell you more about the recipe in the kitchen. So I'm going to make a French white bean soup with rosemary and parsley, and I'm going to add lemon just to make it a little bit more summery and fresh. So when I create recipes, I always like them to be very easy to make. I don't want to have to be doing lots of chopping or complicated recipes. When you're having people over especially, you want things to be nice and simple. So the reason why I'm making this one is because it is just that, very simple. It will be a starter dish served in the tureen, and then I'll make something for the main course. So we have some white butter beans, which I love. I actually make a really delicious butter bean dip where you have butter beans, olive oil, some garlic, some lemon, and you blitz it in a blender until creamy, and that makes a great dip. So we have the butter beans, some parsley, which I'm going to chop, shallots, garlic, olive oil. Very, very easy. So let's get on with this recipe, and I'm excited to see it in the tureen. To begin, I'm adding olive oil to a hot pan, and then I'm going to add in our shallots, followed by garlic. Just fry these off until they're nice and translucent and they've absorbed the oil. It takes about 5 to 8 minutes. Then I'm adding in our butter beans, followed by our vegetable stock. You can also use chicken stock if you're not vegetarian or vegan. Also here, just adding in some dried thyme, and then this will just simmer for a while, and then you can add in your lemon, and it really just takes about 8 minutes of simmering, and then we are ready to blitz it with the blender to make it smooth and creamy. Also, if you want to have a bit more texture, take out some of the soup before blending and then add it back in to keep that texture there. And that is it. Very simple and easy. So I think that I am going to move the cabinet now, swap this with the bookcase. I'm just in the mood to get this done. The house is looking really lovely, and I just want to see what it's going to be like. Now, it's going to be quite hard because this isn't that bad, this isn't too heavy. I'll need to take some of this stuff out, but the bookcase is very, very heavy. So yeah, there's a few things in here. This plate was given to me. I work with this guy here in Edinburgh called Murray, who is a publicist, and he gifted me this plate with my N on, which is very, very sweet, kind gift from him. So I think I'm going to display some of these things in here still in the dining room, but with a mixture of maybe some glassware, the tureen, which will look great, And then in here we have this, I love this painting. This is a Jonathan Fremantle, and I really think that is the most spectacular colour. I think we need to bring that out. Quite beautiful. He does these paintings called the Daily Studies, where he makes one a day, and this was one of them. So yeah, there are a few things in here that I want to display still, but I think this will look great in the dining room, and the bookcase will brighten up the whole space as well, and I can't wait to get a new painting in my frame. So you can see, if I just grab this, it's quite a big one. Portrait maybe of me. I've already got one of those. Yeah, so I want to have this on the wall. I might need to rejig some of the pictures on the wall then for flow, so we'll see once that is done. Oh gosh, just bashed it. But yeah, I'm going to attempt to move the bookcase now. So wish me luck. Also, I've just remembered that all of my china is in the bottom of here. My Royal Albert Brigadoon set that I got from the charity shop for £35. Bargain of the century. So that will go in the dining room as well. Well, I attempted to move these on my own and I haven't got very far. You can see it's just still there. So I've emptied that out, but I can't lift the top piece off on my own. It's too wide and too heavy. So I'm waiting for Nathan to come and help me. He's gone out. His mother is visiting. We had dinner together last night, which was fun. So they've gone out. And then we're going to a show tonight at the Fringe here in Edinburgh. It's the last week of the Fringe. So I'm going to get Nathan to come and help me move that. I'm very impatient. I want to do it now. Somehow I managed to lift up the top section of the bureau and, oh, I don't know how, I had a Superman moment. So I've managed to move everything. The only thing I haven't managed to do is move, I can't lift that, no way, on my own, on top of the bureau, so I'm going to wait for Nathan later on. So let me show you the changes. Here we go. The bookcase is here in the room again. It used to live here. That is fixed to the wall, so that is a no move now. And I do like it a lot better. That painting, once I've had it commissioned, I'm going to just pull out a second to show you. So I think that there with the mirror will be too much gold. So my thought is to move the mirror above the bar, which would look great there. Move him to here and move that to there, which would look great also. Big scale. And then that painting can go there. So either side of the fireplace you'll have two paintings with gold frames, and then in the mirror will be above there. I think that will work. But I actually quite like it like this, just with the lamp on top. It means that there's no cable trailing behind there. And by the way, I bought some disposable bulbs. And I have to say, not very impressed. They're not very bright and they don't last very long. It was driving me crazy, keep charging them all the time. So I don't think that is an option for me unless there are some better ones. Let me know in the comments, please, if you recommend any good ones that are bright and that last a bit longer. But the lamp looks nice there. I think this is much better. It's a better flow. Feels lighter, brighter. It was just darkening the corner there. So we go through here. And that is in here now. So it just needs to have the top section put on there. Also, the mirror that was here has had to come away, so that needs to find a new home. I'm thinking maybe in the hall, because I'm going to be painting that soon. Much better, I think. Much better. Happy. Well, last night Nathan came over and helped me to lift the bureau on top of the bottom section. So that is in place. It's the next day now. Everything's still looking lovely. I'm really happy with the decision to move those two, swap those two around. So let me show you how the bureau looks now in the dining room. Little Sophie. I still haven't put some of the stuff away, but there we are. I think this is great in here. And the good thing is that in the living room, these doors kept opening because the floor is slightly slanted, not uneven. Whereas in here, they stay closed. And yeah, I really like this in here. Doesn't the tureen look great? So I do need to get a few things sorted out. You can see I've still got things left out here. Look at this amazing print of Babe Paley by Rene Boucher. Beautiful. So yeah, I will, over the weekend, style this up, maybe look for some new things to put in there. But I think it looks great in the dining room. I have a lot of glassware in my bar here. So maybe this would be a good option for that, because this isn't the best. See, all of those in there. And then in here we have a lot of champagne coupes. So maybe I will put some of those in there as well. But pretty good. Well, I have to tell you, I'm very, very happy with how this week has gone. Changing all these things. I feel like everything's looking beautiful now. Just that book bureau in the corner there I was always looking at it thinking it wasn't quite right. And a few of you did comment as well, saying that it looked a bit dark. It darkened the corner, and it really, really did. And the thing is, this is summertime now, so the room is quite bright. You can see the sun is coming in through that window and really shining in. But in just a few weeks, when autumn arrives and then winter, this room gets quite dark, and I wanted that corner to be nice and bright. So it's definitely better. Also wanted to say, because I know a lot of people will comment, when the new painting goes on that wall, the lamp will come off there. So I'm not going to have the lamp and the painting. It would be one or the other. But I do quite like the lamp there, to be honest. This room, as you know by now, is a never-ending project. It just goes on and on and on. Thank God I have that interior design course from Sophie Patterson. Speaking of which, something quite funny happened to me this week. I'm not sure whether you follow me on TikTok, but I occasionally post content on there. And the thing is about all these different platforms, so you have YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. YouTube is my main one, where I have my lovely audience, all of you, who have been with me for 5 years. And this is a very safe place for me. I know exactly the type of content that you enjoy. I feel like this is my home. I never worry about anything. I'm completely myself. So I know that I can be myself and just be me. Instagram is almost the same, except I don't feel the connection so deeply, but I know that people are looking for very polished, beautiful content. So it's where I make all of my lovely short videos and photographs. It's more like a visual album. And then TikTok is completely different. So it's a completely different audience who doesn't really know me very well at all. And I kind of realised that if I wanted to grow on TikTok, which I do, to be honest, because it's always helpful to be present on all platforms, I have to make different content. In the very beginning, I thought, oh, I'll just make one video for Instagram and I can post that on TikTok as well. It doesn't work. The content that performs well on TikTok is totally different, so I have to do two different things. So my content on TikTok is slightly more tongue-in-cheek, I would say a little bit cheeky, a little bit clickbaity, And I post a lot of content in the style of, for example, 5 things that you would never see in my home. And even though these are real things that I would never have in my home, the way that I word it is to be a little bit provocative, shall I say, and to spark debate, because this is how you grow. Last week I posted a video, 5 things you would never find in my home. One of them was a TV, which is the truth, I don't have a TV. The second one was laundry drying all over the house. That's another thing I don't like. So in the US, I know a lot of you have tumble dryers, drying machines. We do have them in the UK, but especially in a rented apartment, there's no space, so you have to dry your clothes. I dry mine in the spare room, and I have my sheets sent out to be dried because they're too big. Another one was overhead lighting. Anyway, there were a few different things. And I noticed overnight that this video went viral on TikTok, and then it was featured in the New York Post, it was featured in the Daily Mail, it was featured on Fox News. So I had an influx of followers, and let me tell you, the comments on some of these videos and articles were really not very nice, and I do not mind about this at all. I know that if you put videos out there, this is what you sign up for, and my skin is so thick. I grew up in high school with years of being called names, so these things just flow off the top of my head. It really doesn't bother me at all. But I just thought it was quite funny, because in this New York Post article, they called me an interior design expert. Interior designer tells the 5 things that he would never have in his home. And I think because they labelled me as that, which I did not call myself, by the way, it really raged people a little bit, because they think, who is this person? He's so young. What does he know about design? And the funny thing is that I've never, ever, ever called myself an interior designer or a decorator. You all know me very well that I never call myself that. I'm just somebody who has a home, who enjoys doing my home, but is no way a professional. So it was quite a wake-up call to suddenly get all of this attention. A lot of new followers across social platforms, but people who don't really know me and or understand me at all. So when I was filming for YouTube this week, I just feel this extreme sense of comfort here with you all. So I say this quite a lot. I'm very appreciative of you all, but I just wanted to say it once more. Thank you for making me feel at home and comfortable, and it just feels so nice to be here talking to you, the ones who understand me so well, who know that really I'm a nice person who's not judgmental. Yes, I don't want to have a TV in my house, but if you want to have one in yours, good for you, and enjoy it. It's perfect. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that, because I know a few of you did message me to say that you'd seen some of the articles, but yeah, quite funny and quite strange at the same time. Interesting. So yes, that is all from me today. I really hope that you've enjoyed this episode, watching me change things around, and also we had the soup. I will say about the soup, by the way, I was going to have that for my own dinner party, but then Nathan had a dinner party at his house, and he was struggling for a starter, so I said, oh, I've just made this soup for YouTube, if you would like me to bring it. So we actually enjoyed that at his house, and it was really delicious. So I will pop the recipe on my Substack this week. I'll pop the link in the description so that you can have it written down, but it is a beautiful one. So yes, thank you for joining me once again. Have a lovely, lovely week. I will see you again this week. I'm trying to do 2 videos a week again. So yeah, I will see you again in a few days, but until then, do take